Hi everyone and welcome back. I hope you've all had a good week. Today's episode is a little different because for the first time I sat down with a friend and recorded a conversation with her. Now, I had a rough plan going into it. But what actually happened was that we started with ghosts and somehow ended up discussing football, celebrity sightings, friendship, Shah Rukh Khan, and our mothers, which is a fairly accurate representation of most of our conversations. Before that, though, I wanted to spend some time on this week's question because it led me down an unexpectedly interesting rabbit hole. The question was, which color has the worst personality? And apparently, a lot of you had opinions. So let's start there. So the question was, which color has the worst personality? And to be clear, this was not a question about your least favorite color. Because I know one of you had very strong opinions about the color yellow and the color orange, which is a conversation we can have another day because I have follow up questions. Some of you, meanwhile, are wonderful human beings who believe all colors deserve equal treatment, and I'd love for you to hate more things. Just a small encouragement. Just kidding. This is a different question though. This was a question that said if I left you in a room with this color and somehow that color became a person, how long would it take before they annoyed you? Now, I know colors do not actually have personalities, and I know some of you said I've never really thought about colors in relation to people, which is fair because colors are, in fact, just colors. But when I asked you to dig a little deeper and think a little bit more, you all had answers. Neon colors received several votes. Neon green, in particular, seemed deeply unpopular. One of you said no one should be beige. It's boring and it needs to get a personality. And I agree. Someone else said grey was the color that annoyed her the most. She looked at all the people in her life that annoyed her and thought of this color, which felt like a very scientific way of answering the question. For someone else, it was the color white. Their reason was that it needed to question its identity. And that is a deeper conversation that most parts of the world are having right now. Certainly a much deeper conversation than I was prepared for when I asked this question, and a much deeper conversation to get into. Colors elicit reactions. That's all I could conclude from this. We've all collectively decided that certain colors are dramatic, some are trustworthy, some are boring, and some need to calm down. The question actually made me think about a very random experience I had last week. I went to the FIFA Fan Fest here in Toronto. Canada was playing, and I thought it'd be fun to wear something red. Support the home team, you know? Seemed simple enough. Except I opened my wardrobe and realized I barely owned any red, which was surprising because red is actually one of my favorite colors. And on that day, I realized that my entire closet was some shade of green. And that got me thinking. We all seem to go through color phases. Sometimes we notice them, sometimes we don't. The Barbie movie came out, and everyone was wearing pink, and I realized I had nothing pink in my closet. Why are our closets dominated by that one color? Or is that just me? Why have the colors become part of how we see ourselves? And is that why we assign personalities to them? Why does red feel energetic and blue feel calm? Black feels serious, even thinning, and yellow seems bright, maybe often overly cheerful. Green feels like nature, which might explain why my wardrobe has become increasingly green since moving to Canada. After spending months staring at snow, you start appreciating leaves in a way you never thought possible. Whether those associations are actually true is a completely different question. But we've been surrounded by them our entire lives. Marketing uses them, fashion uses them, interior design uses them. And after seeing those patterns over and over again, we start believing them. We start understanding that colors have a semblance and that some colors should never be left alone in the same room. A silver frame on a warm yellow wall feels like a personal attack on your senses. Not because either one is wrong, just because they are trying to create different moods, and our brains notice these things, even when you're not consciously thinking about them. The more I thought about it though, the more I realized that my answer might not actually be neon green, which is what I came up with first. Because while I did vote against neon green, I also kind of admire it. It knows exactly what it is. It has one job and it commits. It is supposed to shock you. The color I think I struggle with more is grey. Not for the same reasons as my friend who said grey, and not because grey is boring, but because grey lives in the middle. Grey refuses to commit, and if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you'll know that I like certainty. I like answers, I like conclusions. Grey asks you to sit with ambiguity. A grey person in a room saying it depends for every conversation would annoy me. And maybe that is why I find it a little frustrating. So perhaps this question was never really about colors at all. Maybe it was about the stories we attach to them. I know some of you feel like these questions reveal something deeper about you, and I think I agree. At the very least, they reveal that a surprising number of you would not willingly spend time with neon green. Before we get into the conversation I had with Anchal today, I should probably introduce her. We've known each other since 2013, which means this fall marks 13 years of friendship. She's funny, she's witty, she's honest, she's deeply empathetic, and she's one of those people who'd always tell you exactly where she stands. If she could, she would personally fight every one of your enemies just so you could get justice. And if the world was suddenly left in her hands, I do not think she would know where to begin. But I'm absolutely certain she would spend every waking hour trying to make things better for the underdog. She's also the reason Amsterdam became one of my favorite cities. Not because of the canals or the museums, but because she showed me the city she loves. And it becomes much easier to love a city when you're seeing it through the eyes of someone who already loves it. So naturally, when I invited her onto the podcast, what followed was a completely normal and focused conversation that stayed on topic the entire time. Just kidding. Here's the conversation.
Hi, Anchal. I'm so happy you're here. So, how are you? I'm sorry this took so long to figure out, but I'm hoping that this is going to be successful.
Let's see. Let's see. You already are risking the success by calling me on this thing.
Wait,
But
before we even get into you and me, because I feel like we will have to give some context to who you are and how you're related to me. I thought that you should first begin with your three clarifications. And then I feel like the people who are listening to this will get an idea of who you are as a personality. So the three clarifications are on the word haunting, Rakhi Sawant, and FIFA. I feel like those are the three things I need your opinion on before we get into how are you, my friend, etc. etc. Okay, first with the word haunting, I feel like you were the one who had the most beef with the way I used it. And so I need clarification now.
I don't know why I'm so aggressive with your podcast to begin with. That is my clarification. But I'm taking your podcast very seriously, especially the
Yes,
question.
I love it. I love all this engagement that I'm getting
I
from
am
you.
very
You're my most
competitive.
loyal fan.
I'm very competitive. I want you to laugh the most at my answers, and I also want to have the best answers. So I will just
I love
lie.
this energy.
I will lie on the podcast to get featured as the best. None of the
Please
answers I
don't
have
lie
said
to
are
me.
true. I just want to clarify first. They're all just to get the biggest laugh.
Let me also clarify that I don't encourage this behavior. Please be truthful to me.
No, just lie.
The competition is not to make me laugh. Because I feel like there is no competition. You're winning already. But anyway, continue.
But I practice that as an art. I don't take it for granted. I can do the clarifications, okay? Listeners, buckle up. This is going to get political. Let's talk about ghosts.
Let's begin with ghosts and then we'll finally end with FIFA, which is horror. But continue.
Yeah. On a side note, I just want to say because I'm alone in the house and I recently saw a horror movie after like 20 or 25 years of my life. All the lights in this house are turned on right now because I'm so scared.
Which movie did you see again? I forgot the name.
Obsession.
Oh, yeah. The new obsession for people.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Anyway, coming back to ghosts. And the word haunting, technically. Now, I may not be into the whole grammar Nazi bit as much as you are, but in no universe is the word haunt ever used as, hey, I'm bored right now. Do you want to like haunt in together? So what? The dictionary definition of haunt. At the end of the day, language is about colloquial use of the terms and the way that language has developed. There are so many words which I cannot say on this family podcast that mean something else, but are being used for something else. It's the colloquialism that matters. And haunt can mean like, oh, supernatural being just next to you. But is that how we use it? No, never. Why is it called a haunted house?
I love that you're having a conversation with yourself at this point. I don't even have to be a part of this. You're just
No,
like,
this is
no,
for the
never.
listeners.
I asked
Your-
you a question. You
This is for the listeners. Your podcast host is fake news.
Yes, I'm letting you be. Sorry for interrupting you. I don't mean
So
to be
that
a
was my
man.
beef. That was my beef because I feel the question got like all like so like PC, like, oh, I would like to haunt my friends and have coffee with. No, that's not what the question was. Because now all of us who took the word haunt as a question, like the actual, we feel like assholes now. We don't want to like be with our
No,
friends. Want to
let me clarify after listening to everyone's answers. And I also told you all this on our chat, but I have found one person,
Mhm.
the author of that book that I just finished.
Yeah.
I forget her name, but whoever this lady is, I will be haunting her. She is the person. That is my answer now. Because
Yeah.
I feel like what that book did to me deserves what behavior she will get from me. Because she made me hate reading. And I feel like that is a feat I have never seen. And so so now I totally am on board with you. I will be haunting this woman in every house. Whenever she starts writing, I'll be there.
See, at the end of the day, hatred is more powerful than love, no matter what the slogan tells you. So, you just haven't found someone that you
Yeah.
hate enough to haunt. That is the.
Correct. That's what I got from that whole thing, and I feel like the minute I read that book, I was like, oh, I understand what she's saying. And now I know who to haunt. So now I also have an answer to that question.
Yes. And everybody who said, like, you know who you are. We know, both of us know who this person is. Like, oh, I know, I don't hate anyone enough to haunt them. I don't like care so much about somebody so much. I don't give them any space in my thoughts. Screw. I just
Don't be so noble.
yeah.
Hate someone. We are giving you the permission to hate
Be
people.
human, okay? Be human. Don't be a robot. AI is taking over this world. The only thing we have left is hatred, okay? As human beings.
I love how this is going to now completely flip when you talk about FIFA, but continue.
Okay, that's all I have. Listeners, please don't haunt me after the podcast. Okay.
Okay, next one was Rakhi Sawant. There was a whole discrepancy from last week's episode. So please tell us that I told that your first celebrity sighting was Rishi Kapoor.
It is
But-
true. My first celebrity sighting was
Yeah.
Rishi Kapoor, so nothing to do with what you said, Shruti. But I just think the most important one that I would like to be remembered by is that I saw Rakhi Sawant in the Lokhandwala CCD, and yeah, that was like
Top billing for you.
Sakshat Bhagwan. I hope there are Hindis. But I was like, Devi, Sakshat Devi mere सामने प्रकट
I am
हुई है.
so jealous of you. I cannot tell you. I
And
feel like
I was-
if I wouldn't have seen Jackie Shroff, I would have really hated you. But just because I've seen him,
Yeah.
I'm able to sort of distance my hate.
And I saw her at her peak, like she had just done Big Boss, and she was just like, but she was on the phone, begging somebody for, like, she was like, पर राकेश जी आप मुझे कब से जानते हैं, मुझे एक रोल तो दे ही सकते हैं. So she was very much like asking some
Was that
Rakesh.
Rakesh Roshan?
I don't know. I mean that's who I've
Could have
imagined
been.
him to be for like a decade. So I'm just like.
I'm trying to think if there are any other known Rakeshs that I know. I was thinking of Rakesh Bedi. Was he
Okay.
in Dhurandhar?
Yeah.
Seen the film, but yeah, I know that he was in Dhurandhar. Okay. I feel like the question should have been who was the best celebrity you've seen. But then again, I feel like I could have alienated a few people who probably haven't seen. Like, we know one person who got so jealous listening to all the names, and then that person was like, oh, now I need to go and see a celebrity. So I feel like there are some people who have not seen that many. Like, my sister would be offended if I asked that question because she's seen Sohail Khan and Arbaz Khan. So
I'm sorry
Some
they
people
have
just-
such a sad life. What do I say?
I am sorry for them too. Like, they have not seen good people. So,
You can opt out of answering the question.
no, I cannot afford that
Or,
right now with the minimum number of
just
listeners that I have.
lie. I have been saying this in the beginning of the podcast. Just lie. Why do you have to say real names? Just say I saw Shah Rukh. Just say I saw
Because I'm
Salman.
asking them follow-up questions to see if it's true, no? That how did you feel? Where did you see? Not everybody is a good storyteller. Fake
But
one, that too. Not real stories.
like, oh, I saw them while like they were running to catch a flight in the airport. That's all. Like that's how much I've seen Kareena Kapoor like that. I'm not lying, really.
I can't trust you anymore. I genuinely cannot trust you anymore because literally your sentence before this was just lie. I have seen Kareena Kapoor.
Yeah, for the people who don't have a cool life, I have seen many celebrities.
I feel like you are one of those people. You have seen all the comedians, like my sister has seen all the comedians, because you all I think lived in those cities where they frequently come, and so I feel like you guys just have a cool roster. Some of us just don't. I have like Raj Thakre on my list. That's not cool.
It
I
would
mean,
be
it's cool in some
I
circles for sure, but
Yeah,
not my cool is Bollywood. So
Kapil Dev
yeah.
visited our school in Nashik. So,
Wasim Akram, how did I forget? That is my second
and
celebrity.
Tarzan the Wonder Car has visited our school. Beat that.
I love
I
it.
should
You're like
have
throwing
started it.
names at this point. You're like
Oh my
Tarzan,
God.
Wasim Akram, Kapil Dev, Jackie Shroff. Who else? Come on.
I think nobody can beat Tarzan the Wonder Car. I'm not even going to try.
Is that better than Rakhi Sawant? Now that's the real question.
She is the Wonder Car version of a human being. So I feel like they are, you know what I'm saying? They're on fire.
Okay, I can see that.
But I've actually seen that. So I'm not kidding. Like, not the actors, like, not
So
Ajay
you have
Devgn.
basically seen Ajay Devgan.
No, the car. They got the car to our school.
No,
They
I know, but it's the
Oh,
soul,
yeah.
right? For those who don't know the movie Tarzan,
Yeah, but
he is apparently the soul of the car, Ajay Devgan. I don't think a lot of people have seen that film, especially the new generations. We have seen it.
again, I'm sorry they don't have a cool life. Who's not seeing Tarzan the Wonder Car? I feel
I
like
feel like my mom is going to listen to this part of the podcast and be like, I was so lost. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel like keep forgetting this is a podcast and I talk over you. So just ask me to be like, just do
No,
some
it's
isha.
fine. I feel like that's just our equation. If someone can't understand what you're saying, like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yes. Comment. Be like, what were you saying at 0.39?
Yes, we will clarify for you. Okay, the third and the final thing that you were going to clarify was FIFA, because I was very excited about it in the last episode, and so you were like, don't be excited. This is a corrupt organization. So please tell the world why. First of all, tell us why you hate football. And then thoda give background also. Okay, you have a person living in your house who loves football. So please.
Yeah, I'm so glad he's home right now because I would be sleeping on the street right now. He's going to be so disappointed. But I don't know, like growing up in India, football always felt like, and now that I see the other way, I know that's not true, but in India, it was always the sport of the snobbish boys, you know what I mean?
I agree
Like,
with this.
oh, like I do watch cricket, I watch football and stuff. In whatever, you know,
And I
just
follow this league and I follow this club.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
this
I
is the
totally
club,
have
this
that.
is the league,
We
and
all know
cricket.
someone like that, I feel.
Yeah, cricket is so mainstream, and you know who's Virat Kohli? I know Cristiano Ronaldo, those kind of people. So
Yeah.
anyway, I was not a sports person growing up. I mean, watch sports, not play sports person. But I was just
Yeah.
like, anyway, it had a bad rep in my head, you know, like all the snob boys only. Like I didn't know anybody growing up, any female who saw or enjoyed the sport per se. Um,
Hmm.
and then I think that behavior kind of continues, and India did not have like a community of football, you know. There wasn't like it
Yeah.
wasn't like cricket where you're all watching the World Cup and you're all happy for India and you're all like it's a very community driven sport to watch.
I think
Um,
also the fact that there is like we don't have a team playing also, right? So the stakes are quite low. Unless you're someone who's like a big Germany fan, because I didn't know those people as well who were like, I'm like, my team is a French team, and they were really, I feel like, nationalistic towards that. But I feel like cricket just has that, because when India's playing the World Cup, there's just a different emotion altogether, which I don't think football can replicate.
But it does in these countries that are really good at football. I think again it boils down to if your
No, in
country
an
is good.
Indian person, I mean, in an Indian person to get
Yeah.
that emotion becomes very. There are some exceptions. I wouldn't say that there are Indians who are not like that. But for us, I'm saying, like, people like us who are not that invested in, say, football, we will be in cricket just because our country plays that sport and is a part of the World Cup or whatever. So at least that's my take.
Yeah, but I see that football is a really unifying game, and I also see people who either have played it or like commentators. I have to watch all of these things, but I
She's
see how
forced.
they talk about
Listeners, she's been
football.
forced.
I know, and I have to. They are like for them, and I agree with this now. Is football is a very easy sport to get into compared to all other sports in the world. You just need a ball.
Interesting.
And you can imagine a goalpost here. Like you don't even need, right? You can just
Yeah.
use a stick, draw a line in the sand, and that's your goalpost. So that's why it is so accessible to people. That's why so many people play it and can grow up to and actually
Right.
aspire to be football players. It's like literally the only other thing I think you can do like that is running, right? So where you don't need anything. So it is a very unifying sport, and it's very accessible as compared to even cricket for that matter. So that's why so many countries participate in it. But growing up, I didn't see the good side of football. I only saw the
Yeah,
snobbish
the snobs.
boys.
I don't, and tell me if this happened to you also, because I remember one time watching, like, or wanting to watch it, and even the wanting to watch it garnered a question like, oh, then name 10 players.
Do you even know
And
which
I
team
was-
is playing?
Yeah, do you even know what team's playing? And then name 10 players. And then I could name at least 5. To which then I got sort of the entry pass into watching the game. And I was like, back then, of course, peer pressure and oh wow, I could name 5 people. But now if someone treated me like that, I'll be like, fuck you, and I don't want to see this game anymore, because you're like making me pay to watch it by testing my knowledge. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I married somebody who is a crazy football person, wanted to tattoo.
What club does he follow, by the way? I
Chelsea.
forgot. I keep.
Chelsea Football
Oh,
Club.
Chelsea. I keep thinking Arsenal for some reason.
No,
He's
he
going to hate
hates.
me for
Don't
this.
edit this part out of it. You're going to be haunted.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to edit this. I'm using the software for
He
the first time.
loves football so much so that that's the tattoo he wanted to make. So when I told him let's get like one tattoo together, the first tattoo both
Right.
of, and I was like, oh, maybe it can be something meaningful to both of us. And then he was like, yeah, okay, Chelsea Football Club. He just chickened out at the last minute, but he really had
Yeah.
like seriously considered, designed in his head that he wanted a Chelsea Football Club tattoo. That's how into football he is.
I get it. Yes.
So he really tried to get me into the sport, and I really tried to understand it. But I think there is some block in my head.
Can I ask a controversial question? I know we've not got into FIFA yet, but have I been more successful in getting you into Formula One than he has been getting you into football?
I think I will answer this honestly. The only reason I got into F1 is because I went and saw the race. That is
Oh.
the only reason, because
But
I
you've
was
also seen a football match. I'm making this too controversial.
Yeah, I know. I've also seen, but like I'm saying, there is this weird football. I just don't understand it. In the race, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, जो पहला आ रहा है वो आ रहा है,
Yeah. I get it.
So,
I think it's easier
It's
to
easier
get
to
into
understand
the sport.
F1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty new to F1 too, also like before the whole thing changed
Oh,
to
yeah.
like that whole 1 second thing and abhi
Correct.
this not, and I still don't understand the concept of safety cars and it helps certain players and doesn't
Yeah.
help. I'm still, the more races I see, the more I will understand, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And as of now, I'm just seeing the race, supporting one player and watching all the Instagram reels. Instagram helps a lot in like getting you into.
I agree.
So yeah, but
Yeah, I
that's
think with Formula One, even if you wouldn't understand all of those things, like at least you understand what happened. You'll understand just the basic of. You'll be able to tell someone a basic summary of this is what happened, and you wouldn't come off like fake. Like with a football thing, if I just told you that like what is this guy's name, Messi person, This is going to again. This is going off the rails. But anyway, like he scored a hat trick yesterday. Now I cannot just go and tell someone that this happened without first going and understanding. Oh,
Context.
what happened? What's the history and everything? I just know it happened, and then I have to now go study. So recently, I was told cricket's also like that. By the way, as a sport, it's just that because it's in our country, we know the game really well, but it's not easy as a sport to get into because again with cricket or football it's very difficult to get into.
Yeah,
Understanding wise, I mean.
this is the biggest debate I've had with Pushkar as well, because he tells me if you understand cricket, which is the most difficult sport to understand, and you say you don't understand football, because according to him, and I think he's also right, and that's where my bias for not liking football comes in. He said you don't have to know the rules. You can also see in football
Mm.
जिसने भी ज्यादा गोल स्कोर किया is the winner. Why do you care
Yeah,
about
yeah.
what's the offside rule? Like what's this, what's that? You see some like a yellow card, a red card, you know it's a bad thing, and then you see who scored the
True.
most goals. So he's like, it's not difficult to understand, and he says the exact opposite about cricket actually, because he's like, there are so many
Yeah.
ways players get out, and the only thing who can understand maybe is like a catch, you know, but like what's an
True.
LBW or like what's a bold or a wide, like it's so
Yeah.
many terminologies. So I agree. I think we know cricket because we grew up watching it. But
Exactly, yeah.
I have nothing against, like, I've just met the wrong kind of people who like football.
Growing up, I feel like that shapes your sport a lot. For me, I think longest time even tennis was like that. Because the fans were so intense in India with like either they were Federer fans or they were Rafael Nadal fans, and then they used to hate each other, and then it got so intense that it took me working on a school project on a sport to get into the sport, because then I could actually like do the research by myself and then not be hounded by these fandoms, because even today I don't think I can have a normal conversation with these fandoms without them getting fully snobby at me. So
And I tried, like, now I'm surrounded with not toxic football fans, right? And I really genuinely tried to understand. But at this point, knowing the number of sports I can see and how I can spend my time, football is just so boring to me. I'm really so. It's just like the chances of like having that
yeah,
one is like one in a million, right? At max, you will see 2 or 3 goals in like 100-minute match.
yeah,
And we are so wired to watch cricket that every ball is like 1 run at least. This is
yes,
my
something's happening.
something is happening, but in
Yeah,
football there are so many times, I think, I don't know, 50% of the times that it's just like 0-0. There is no goal scored, and I'm like, what
yeah,
was I
yeah.
doing this stupid 22 men running around for? What's been happening? What's the point?
Yeah, I
It's
feel
just
like a lot of people who don't know football are also learning a lot about football from this, because I did not know there were 22 men. So
like
I'm learning
11
a
and
lot.
11 and one referee. Okay, uh so I'm just like, what is the point?
Yeah,
And but I think this is true for any, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if it happens in tennis, but like any where they keep like this badminton or anywhere where they keep this score, it can end up being a tie or like love all
yeah.
types. So I
No, I
understand.
feel I think we're going to sound like what they say about the stereotypical Gen Z, where it's like, every 10 seconds something should be happening or the content's not fun enough. I feel like because we've been spoiled by cricket only as a sport.
Yeah.
If there was a sport that nothing was happening, even that happens with Formula One also, very honestly, where sometimes there are no overtakes, they're just going around the track, and then it's
You
just
know,
like, okay,
by
tell
like
me, like, let me know if something happens, I'll come back and watch this. So that happens with, I think, any sport where there's nothing happening. And because I think our brains are wired to a cricket or a tennis where at least something's happening every ball, we just want that with every other sport, and then that when that doesn't happen, it doesn't engage us. Maybe that's just the viewers that we are.
Yeah, and it's also a generation, because I can imagine people who watch test matches are used to
Oh,
nothing.
yes.
So it's also the IPL
Yeah,
part of it, right? Because
absolutely.
now we consume T20 only. At least I do.
Correct.
Uh,
I
and
don't consume any cricket, but
yeah,
yeah.
hardcore cricket fans might watch one day or even test for that matter. But now because you're like T20 देख रहे हैं, everything is just an advertisement in T20. There are cheerleaders and colorful like costumes, uniforms.
Yeah. Pay attention here, something like that. It's just like waving at you to pay
It just
attention.
it gets worse. And for someone who's not at all like into sports or watching sports or doesn't even like sports and truly believe sports are useless. I'm so sorry. I am like, why should I watch this sport if I'm not enjoying it? But I have also, outside of my close circle, the toxicity of football has somehow like followed me, because there are always riots when something or the
Oh
other goes
yeah.
wrong, in
Especially I feel
especially.
like you're being so intense about it.
Exactly, they're so intense
Yeah.
about. I whenever we go to see matches outside, also, like, not one on one per se, but the whole atmosphere. We are always scared to like come back home very late in the night if like there is something's gone wrong in any of the football matches. There are even during celebrations, like you look at what happened in New York with the Knicks, right? They won, and momentous, everyone was happy, became such a big deal, but so many small businesses lost their livelihood because people were just celebrating and breaking like vans and shops
I
and
thought
stuff.
there was a shooting also at that time when people are going home.
So all of this continues, and the snobbish Indian boys
I feel
have.
like with that, I'd say with every sport, I think thoda bahut that happens. Like there's this crowd that gets really intense and passionate
Rowdy.
about it. And like, not to bring feminism into this because I bring that everywhere, but I feel like because most men especially don't have an outlet to their emotions in their life, sports becomes such a big channel for them, and then they can behave any which way they want, and most of the times it's hysterical behavior. And I think because sports allows it, they feel like, oh, this is just me being passionate about my sport and not really understanding that it's just probably uncalled behavior. So
Yeah,
it's my
my
take.
controversial opinion is sports exists only because straight men get a chance to touch other men. Like, that's the only reason sport exists. Because they don't hug each
Exactly.
other. They don't hug each other. They
Yeah.
have no physical contact. So let's just throw each other on the ground. But
Yeah.
but yeah, and the snobbish Indian men who watch football also continue to surround me. And the more such men I meet, the more these guys are, why are you into K-pop, and do you name 10 players, and
Do you still meet men who, if you tell them that you watch football, ask you how many, like name 5 players?
I don't tell anybody only I watch. Why will I tell you? I don't watch football. I judge them. I'm like, you still watch football? Are you?
No, I want a good response. I feel like this is a question for like the listeners now. I feel like this became very you and me conversation, but what is the right response? I really want that. Like, if someone tells me to name 5 people, I feel like, because you know what, there was this girl online who said, who gave a really good like sort of response to it by saying like, ask them to name 5 makeup brands. But I'd be bad at that also. So I want a question that applies to me, and then I can ask them and be like, you tell me this first, and then I'll tell you 5 names.
I think the thing with, if you go to like makeup or something, stereotypically women, they'll be like, oh, we don't care about it. But you said you care about football. So now,
Exactly.
I think, for now that you're asking me, my standard answer should be, or would be, name 5 women who love you.
Yeah, that was the one I think we had discussed a while ago, and I feel like I should write it down and like remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I barely doubt that men who talk like that have 5 women who love him. So,
Yeah.
end of story.
Okay.
Go.
Last. Sorry, what?
I was just saying that's like a home run, using a sports metaphor.
Home run, such a baseball terminology. A game we don't watch at all. But I did watch like a match here in Toronto, and it was quite fun. But that's just me. I think I like watching sports in general. But I don't want people asking me for 5 names and all. That really pisses me off.
I like the vibe of like when you're. I think that's why I got into F1. Like I said, I went there, I knew nothing. I just saw people wearing lots of orange, and I was like, hey, are they supporting Netherlands? And my husband was like, you dumb idiot. There is no Netherlands. That's a team called McLaren, and it's not the Netherlands orange. It's a papaya orange. I was like,
That is so annoying. Let's not get into McLaren right now. This is a nice podcast. We don't talk about bad things.
no, I'm just saying that's how, like,
Yeah.
but I went there and I saw people supporting for Max, and then when Max was speeding by, like, for 1 millisecond, you get to see it, right? And everyone was like going crazy. So I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It has that aura, I think. For me, I think my cousin just like made me watch DTS, and then the minute I saw DTS, I was like, oh, this seems like a fun sport to follow. Plus, I
But
think my whole like, I was coming off tennis a little bit, so I needed something to fill the void. So F1 became that void filler.
But in general, like, I enjoy the vibe around sports. I don't necessarily
agree.
enjoy the sport per se. I
I
really
think
would
for
love
me,
to.
when I was saying yesterday, like when I said that like you wanted a clarification on FIFA, it was more the vibe. I think just that the fact that everybody, like even today when I was on the way out, there was my whole train was filled with people from Panama, and I was like, I just wouldn't have seen that otherwise. But the fact that this whole train is filled with them is just fun to watch, and everybody's really excited and loud voices, and they're talking to each other about football. Just a fun thing to sort of experience.
Yeah, but I was seeing this clip of like another podcast or something the other day talking about football because now my Instagram's filled with football for some, like the World Cup. And
Yeah.
those two guys were saying like, also what we were saying, right? We see these really warming videos of like people saving money to go and watch
Exactly.
World
Yeah.
Cup, how much it means to them, how they've grown up with this, what it means for the country. They never thought that, Italy wouldn't be here, the small rank
Curacao would be.
would be here. So they said something which really made, like, I feel like they voiced my problem with this whole World Cup. Is they said that the fans love football, but the football sport has stopped loving fans long ago because the price for the tickets were like
Oh
$1,000
yeah.
in the
I
US.
saw that. I was quite surprised. Yeah.
So really, like, it's not like that when it's in Europe or something. There are still expensive seats, but they're not like inaccessible. If you want to go, you can buy like the cheaper seats and still, make it a bit affordable. It's
Okay.
easy to, so it's not like this entire World Cup in general. It's problematic. FIFA as an organization, super problematic, really corrupt. Like, it's well known and documented. This is not my opinion. I have no opinion on FIFA, but
Yeah.
especially the fact that where it is happening and how it is happening today, and the whole capital, like, you can see evidently FIFA is corrupt because they want a lot of money, but the
Yeah.
country
Yeah.
is being hosted in right now, and the way it's being hosted right now, and the person who's leading FIFA right now, you can see obviously how capitalist it is. I heard, I'm not sure how true it is, but they have also set up like in the corners like these VIP tables where you get like unlimited food and drinks, and everyone was like, the whole point of football, what I was saying earlier, is that it was accessible. It was a everyday poor
Oh yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So the minute you make it VIP, like caviar, unlimited food, it just takes away the essence of the game. There is a halftime show for the first time in football,
Yeah.
and
It's the water break.
no, that's the
Yeah,
hydration break, which is
no, but
fine
they're
because.
calling it the quarter or something. There was this whole controversy. I, mean, I didn't get into it. Maybe someone can tell us. But like the whole water break thing being masked as like for commercials especially because they're calling it like a quarter, and so then they go into commercials. But in Europe, you can actually see the players still on the field. It's not a commercial break, but here it is. And so everybody's like, even like they're trying to earn money through that water break also. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all for ad slots. Of course, like they are following the Super Bowl format for the FIFA World Cup.
Correct.
Is also
Correct.
problem.
Yeah.
But I can still excuse the hydration break because it's really hot in the US.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Some of the
temperature
cities.
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
happens. Europe technically doesn't get that hot. So maybe they do need the
True.
hydration. Let's say they need the hydration break, they need to drink water. It's not a bad thing. Let them drink water. So you can excuse that maybe. But they have
Yeah.
an half show, like the Super Bowl halftime show is what I'm talking about, which is happening for the
Oh, yeah,
first
yeah,
time.
yeah.
It's happening for the first time in football history, and it's purely done for money and views. And
Ads and
okay,
yeah.
they have BTS coming in, fine. I'm happy. At least one match of the entire 104, I will be
Oh, is
interested.
it for the finals only?
It's
The
for the
halftime
final
thing?
only. Yeah.
Okay. Thank God.
But they also did it for the opening ceremony, right? Like they got
Yeah, the conversation around that was that she got 1.2 million views. No, sorry, 1.2 billion views, and the Super Bowl halftime show was 600 million views. And then, like everybody was like, "Oh, like what's the big deal?" And then everybody in the comments was roasting them, and they were like, "Do you understand that like football's an actual global sport versus your Super Bowl that is just like something that only you watch?" So yeah, it's
football is
crazy. The unawareness is crazy to me. But again, I should expect it.
So that is my whole like beef with it. Like with everything going on in the world, the US did not let the Somalia referee enter their country even though he was invited by FIFA. Same with other players. Iran not getting to stay in the US. I don't think they wanted to, but still not being given an option.
Yeah. Even I think the whole what is it, Cabo Verde's captain's mother not being allowed in the first place has to be something
not
to do with the
getting
visa.
visas.
Not getting a
Exactly.
visa, yeah, it has to do something with the policies only. And now
So
suddenly it's like, thank you so much for letting her come. And I was like, this could have happened in the first place. Like, we didn't need. But then again, I feel like with the visa policies, I mean, even Europe's pretty bad only. So, it's just like comparing two different types of bad apples, I would say.
yeah. The visa, I mean, visa is a visa. What can you do? So many people want to come
Yeah.
and football. So it's all like, all that is fine. Administrative glitches are fine, but human
Yeah.
dignity is something else. And
I
capitalism
think we have
is.
become very serious on this podcast. We've become very intellectual. I wasn't this intellectual. That's why I was asking my friends to come and join because I wanted it to be this intense. These are our conversations, by the way, people. Just FYI.
I didn't want to be so serious, but you asked me about my beef with FIFA, and you know my beef with everything nowadays is either it's men or it's capitalism or it's just those two
Yeah, I
actually.
feel like you are the reason, like, I think twice about something. Even if I may not fully agree with you, because you will give me your point of view, I'll be like, okay, let me think about this. And so, thank you for keeping me also grounded.
That's all you can ask for. People who think twice. We don't have many of those nowadays.
Okay, now I'm going to make this thoda fun, okay? Because you've gotten way too serious. Those who have left us, please come back. I don't know if they can come back असतं त्यांना सांगितल्यावरती, but
Maybe that should be the name of the podcast. If you leave in the middle, just come back.
just come back, yeah.
Get better.
Okay.
Get better.
I was thinking that we should now go into a little more personal stuff about you and me. Because I feel like there is some beef there also. And I thought that this would be a fun platform to bring it up a little bit. I feel like I am like just starting fires here.
You're blindsiding.
But no. I'll start with a nice question. I want you to tell me what is your first memory of me?
I have like a first visual of you, like when all the new joiners joined.
Yeah. Okay, so just for context, we worked together on my first job. Was it your first job also?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then our first job.
Yeah, but Shruti
In
joined.
a small company in Pune. I will not name the company. Okay, continue.
I was going to.
Everybody who is listening to it knows it.
No. But Shruti joined a year after I did. So yeah. So I remember like seeing you walk in with a bunch of like all of the new people, and I know that we used to have this like weird, introduce yourself and do something, ritual.
Yeah, I'll
Like
never forget that.
Yeah, like dance, sing, or say something or do something. And I remember like you doing something. I don't exactly remember. Did you dance?
I
Was
danced
it-
on Balam Pichkari.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I remember. So I saw you dance and I was like, if this was meant to be embarrassing, it's not because she's a good dancer. So what's the point?
I think I got so tired of everybody around me like just looking at each other and not doing anything. And they're just like, no, you do something. No, you do something. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck everyone. I'm just doing it now because get this over with. I cannot stand there looking at people anymore. So that is where I was coming from.
Yeah. So I think that is my first memory of you. But I think we became friends very like organic. In my head, we became friends very organic.
Yes, that's the beef I was talking about. Please tell everyone. Please tell. First tell how you even thought, like, came to this, where you were like, oh my god, she doesn't think of me as a friend. Continue.
I feel this is embarrassing for me because
That is for me. Because
no.
I clearly was like, oh, I don't know if she likes me. But before we get into that, let me like tell people what I thought about you. And also what my impression of you was. I was like, she's very classy. Extreme classy person with her like as a bob haircut and like this classy person who does not come to us with us for lunch because she has better friends. And so this was my image of you.
Yeah.
And I think for me, my first memory, not first visual memory, but like the memory that's stuck in my head, which I think I carry through in my life just for confidence purposes, is I was wearing this blue, sort of like a dark cobalt blue top, and I came into the office and I'm walking towards my desk and you have come out of nowhere and are like, you're looking so good today. And I was like, oh my god, this classy human being whose fashion sense I think is out of this world has complimented me. And so that's the confidence I take with me till today, I think, where I'm like, oh my god, compliment. And the second memory is you don't like chocolate. Those are the two things.
I'm so like, you thought I'm classy because you had never heard me or me speak dirty. Like, God, when will this bitch shut up? uh, I don't know. I just felt like you started hanging out with us and then like we became friends. But I was going to say it's embarrassing for me because anyway, I think you know this, but anyway, all my friends call me like Ali from Dhoom, like Uday Chopra. Because the moment I meet somebody, I'm like, this person's my best friend, and I start imagining like the whole motorbike, like Dilbara
Yeah.
thing happening in the background. So maybe that I did that with you as well. And I was like, we hang out every day in office and we have tea together and we gossip and we online shop. So of course we are friends. What else do friends do? What else is in the umbrella of friends? And we did not have such like happening personal lives to talk to each other about personal lives. You know, we lived with families, we lived alone. Like that is the only criteria of friendship we were not meeting. So I was like, okay, why not? I mean, I considered all of you friends, and then I remember I had also called all of you for a sleepover at my place, and even then you
I
were
think
like,
that was sort of the first time when I started feeling like, oh, this group's like a good, like my good friends and all. I think for me, it had to go a little bit in that direction to be like, oh, this is like more than, like, yeah, I feel like this is, I'm talking about a relationship, but this is more than just dating.
it's not a situationship. I think the truth is, and
Yeah.
we have at least two more listeners who will agree with me, is you had cooler friends to hang out with.
Not at all.
All
Let's
of
not.
us used to hang out together and we all assumed we are all friends only. You were the only one
No,
who...
you were like, we are besties, just like we are today. Wala, full that level of intensity you brought to that conversation. I remember when we had it, and I being my unnecessarily honest self, was like, no, I like recently started feeling like that, and so you were like, no, bro, I saw you first day, love at first sight. This is best friends, and I'm like, no, it took me 3 months.
I
So
believe in friends at first sight. Sue me.
yeah, exactly. And so I think that's where the misunderstanding happened.
Yeah. True. I was very hurt. Thanks for bringing this up on the podcast. First
You have
guest,
had so many
the
leads
only
today.
person who's agreed to come on your podcast.
The first person who listens to it also.
Yeah.
Every time I send it. I'm so proud of you. I have now committed to this friendship. There is no, that 3 months was just a blur.
Was I on like some probation period where you were like, let's see
Maybe.
how this
I feel like
goes?
I do that with everyone who comes into my life. There is
Very good
everybody has
phase.
probation period. Yeah. Even if I make friends in the city today, they're on probation. And then one day it'll be like, oh, you're my good friend now.
And then people ask where I started getting my self-confidence issues from. Here. I was such
I'm here not to give
naive,
it back to you, but
such a naive, confident kid. Like, hey, everybody loves me. Why would you not be best friends with me? And now I'm just like, okay, maybe
but
I
like
could
I
be.
said, I think I've also told you this because I thought you were so classy and like the best fashion sense and everything. I also thought you were quite intimidating. So that was where I was coming from initially, where I was like, okay, it's sort of intimidating. But then when I met you and we danced that first dance, I was like, okay, she's just like me only, just with better fashion
Just less
sense.
intimidating than you. Now
I
all
don't
of
think
us
I'm
just love you.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm a very shy person.
For someone who spent the entire morning scolding another mutual friend, you are intimidating, Anshul. You are intimidating.
I'm a little like scoldy person with my friends. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. What other
I have
dirty
one
laundry
last
you want to
question.
wash in
I have one last question for you, which is I feel like it's a very difficult question, and I want an answer from you if you can offer it. I'm trying to be formal again, but if in this lifetime you got to meet one of these two entities, and you know where I'm going with this, who would you choose between BTS and Shah Rukh Khan? And I think I know your answer, but I still want to ask this question.
Shah Rukh Khan.
I knew it.
Thanks, Tom.
Just
I
wanted to see
like I
greater than.
have so many things to tell him. It's not greater than really.
Okay, what do you want to tell him? I want to know this now.
It's between me and Shah Rukh. Mind your own business. It's not. It's too PG for this. I have some words for
I-rated
Gauri Khan.
conversation. Yeah, I-rated conversation.
Yeah, I was saying I have some words for Gauri Khan also, but I haven't.
Are those good words or bad words?
Just like, hey Swatan, bestie. I can tell you one thing that I want to tell Shah Rukh. I want to tell him कि आपके religion में 2 बीवी allowed है. So I have no problem.
What does your husband have to say about that?
Who cares? He'll not be my husband by that time. As soon as Shah Rukh says okay.
Shah Rukh can Pushkar out.
Knowing how much my husband also loves Shah Rukh, he'll be like, 3 बीवी भी allowed. I want to know it.
Yeah. Did you all get did he always like Shah Rukh Khan or does he like Shah Rukh Khan because of you?
No,
Or
that
your
was
husband?
like my prerequisite.
Okay.
I was like, you have to
Okay.
like Shah Rukh. I cannot respect people who don't like Shah Rukh. Any podcast listeners who don't like Shah Rukh, unsubscribe. We don't want you in this.
Please don't unsubscribe. I know a few people who follow this who don't like her. Let's not go there. we only have a few right now.
I will get you more. Just tweet on like the ball, like the Shah Rukh fan circle, you know, the fan.
Good. Okay, I'm happy to know that was a prerequisite, and thank you for not keeping that with your friendships.
Yeah. I had a fight about Shah Rukh and Salman with one of our mutual friends again, and that was
No, that's how only I was like thinking
Yeah.
about that. I'm like, I remember these fights because I was not like I was a bigger, of course, Shah Rukh fan, never a Salman fan. But I was always, whenever I was in a part of those conversations, to be like, I want to slowly, like, you know, that Simpsons meme where he's going back into that bush. I'm like,
Yeah.
can I just disappear? Because I clearly am going to be taking one side out of these two sides. So, yeah.
You know, the sad part of my life is everybody who I hate in Bollywood, my mother loves. Like my mom is the biggest Salman Khan fan, and now she is moved from Salman Khan because of course like he's not doing a lot of movies to
Yeah.
Ranveer Singh now, and I'm like, why? Why are you liking two people who
We
are
have one friend who loves Ranveer Singh a lot.
yeah? And my mom is so I cannot even like outright be like I hate people who hate Salman and Ranveer because it's my own mother. The
Yeah,
only
I can see
person
that. The whole burger pizza thing was like that, like illuminating for me when my mother chose burger, and I was like, oh my god, I did not expect this at all. This is happening in my own house, but
yeah, so many
cannot
things.
help it.
Our parents are just on the wrong track, I'm telling you. Worried about them.
It's fine. They're our parents. We accept them like they accepted us with
Sorry,
everything.
Mom, I know you hear this podcast. We're just concerned about you.
I know I'm being so PC about it because my mom listens to it. I'm like, what can we do now? We have to love them.
I'm sorry for all the bad words I said. I'm not really like that.
No, but the good thing about my mom is that I don't know why this has become suddenly about my mother, but when she came to Noida and stayed with me for a few months, she started using galis, and I was so proud of her. She was like, "Oh, everybody's using. I'll also use," and I was like, "Assimilation is happening." So I was quite proud.
My mother is also like a sponge. My sister is staying in Nasik right now, and she watches all of these shows, and she watches this. I don't know if you know them, Sidemen. She's a very big fan of that.
Oh, no idea. Okay.
It's a YouTube group, super popular.
Acha.
They are a British group. They use all bad words, of course. And now my mom has just learned all of them, but she doesn't understand the implications of using these bad words. So she will just use them.
So
And
pure.
you are my mother. Can you, like I told you the other day, right? Like there was this Myntra guy who came late and she was like such a pervert. And I'm like, that's not how you use pervert. Because some guy is late to deliver your like kurti, okay?
Isn't there like a comedy sketch on this also? Like when someone uses the wrong word when they think, isn't khichdi also something like this?
She just knows like it's a bad word and you say it when you're like annoyed or something. So she will just use it. And it's not just bad words, though they are more jarring, but she also does this for normal. When she was here and it was the Pride, I taught her what ally is. And then she started using ally for everything that means approval. So like I was yeah, okay, this ex person eats a beef burger and she was like, it's okay, I'm okay with people who eat beef burgers. I'm an ally. I'm like, that's not how you use the word ally. So she's just out of context.
I love this. This is hilarious. I think I also should start doing that. Every time I support something, I'm an ally. It's also Pride Month, so maybe this
Yeah.
is the month to use it.
Just on a side note, this year's World Pride is happening in Amsterdam. So if anybody wants to visit,
Please go to the Pride March. Don't go to my friend's house.
yeah, no, don't come here.
It was not an invitation to her house. It was just an invitation to her city.
Come to Amsterdam and support the gays.
Okay. Okay, before we stop talking, and I will now later move on separately into the color conversation. I know you have submitted your answer, but don't tell here. We will have it. I will say it out loud with everybody else's answer later. I was thinking that I don't know who else is going to come on this podcast. You have been very gracious, and thank you for coming on the podcast. But if someone decides to come, I want you to give me a question to ask that friend of mine who joins the podcast.
Ooh. You have raised the bar so high with the questions you ask that
I ask the stupidest questions and I love them. I just call them stupid because it genuinely makes me think, and I hope it makes everybody else think. So
I will need a minute to think. But I just also want to say that I'm so used to this whole question thing because Pushkar is so used to asking these random, and he keeps asking me questions and he's like, tell Shruti to ask this on the podcast, tell Shruti to ask this. I'm like,
yeah, his questions like for next week. I already had a question for this week, so I was like, next week I'm gonna ask Pushkar's question.
he's just randomly asking me questions and then he's like, tell Shruti to ask. I want to know everybody else's. I'm like, what is this new thing that we have suddenly formed in this relationship?
I love it. I love it. I love the engagement.
Okay, maybe I can ask if you had to describe yourself as a food dish,
Ooh. Okay.
as a dish, like what would you be and why?
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for coming. I hope that
Thank you
you're
for
really not
having
coming again and answering this question next time. If you come, you have to answer it. That is what I'm going to do now.
Okay,
So
sure.
if you come next time, be prepared. You know the question already. But again, thank you for coming, Anjo. This was so exciting. I hope this recording software works and whatever we have said right now has been uploaded and
Anyway, it was a
recorded.
fun conversation. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Bye bye.
Thanks again, Anchal, for joining. If you guys are still here listening, thank you for sticking with us. Our conversations don't fit any agenda, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I love that we can have so many layered conversations about a single topic, and the fact that we can have conversations about so many things in that one conversation that we had that day. And that, by the way, looks like a conversation that we have pretty much every day. We have that many number of things to discuss, and those could range anywhere from something really small to something as huge as, oh, FIFA is a corrupt organization. So I appreciate this friend of mine for just knowing everything, so then I can just discuss everything with her. One other thing I want to note though, and this is important, you do not have to lie to get your answers featured on here. All answers are made equal and are equally appreciated. But I think we cannot beat a Rakhi Sawant sighting, and I feel bad for all of us, and I don't think we can do anything about it. On the achievement front, it's been a busy week. I'm trying to complete a lot of house chores on the weekend, and I'm trying to get some work done on the side. There's a lot happening, and the weather's been up and down meteorologically and personally, but you're all hanging in there. Before we wrap up, though, I know it's been a really long one. It's time for this week's question. So I know that there were a lot of questions asked before, but this is the one that I really want an answer to. This one actually comes from a listener, which makes me very happy because it means I am no longer the only person sitting around inventing strange questions. So the question goes, according to the Christian tradition, the 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. And you might have to Google what each of these means. But the question is, if you could permanently remove just one of them from the world, which one would you choose? And you only get one. I suspect the answer says a lot more about how you see the world today than which sin you would actually pick. But I'm still interested in learning about how you think about this. As always, send me your answers, your reasoning, and any disagreements you could have with the logic of a friends. And if you know someone who would have a strong opinion on today's color question or the seven deadly sins or anything else you have discussed, send this episode their way. I would love to have more people join the conversation. Thank you for listening. I'll be back next week with another question, another story, and hopefully a few more of your answers. Until then, bye bye.